It's ready for the Europe Tour 2022. This is the start of our motorcycle trip, and we start by heading south towards Trelleborg in the south of Sweden. The goal for today is just to see how far we can come. We are just outside Jönköping, and we are going to eat some food. Since everything went so well, I booked ferry tickets for the night. Now we just have to reach Trelleborg.
Denmark on the other side and the bridge.
620 kilometers and a million bugs later, we finally arrived to Trelleborg. Our asses was sore, but we had made it. Germany, here we come. This is the ferry that we are going to take from Sweden to Germany. And our bike is over here. Hur känns det, Viola? Ja, är du pigg? Du hade kunnat köra 60 mil till.
Inte riktigt pigg.
Nej, det har gått bra eller?
Faktiskt trött. Men det gick bra. Jättebra.
I'm sorry about the VHS picture quality here. This is where my action cam is starting to cause me some trouble. More on that later. So we roll in to Germany, the land of bratwurst, beer and Wiener Schnitzel. Here we have it, probably the best road in the world, the Autobahn. But it's quite boring on two wheels. This is fun though, pitching our tent. This means that it's soon beer time. The first campground for this trip, it's Berlin Camping Club, BCC. And unfortunately you can't bring your bike to your tent, but it was okay to drive down and pack off everything and then ride the bike back to the parking and walk back. As you can see, it's been here since 1953. If you don't like sand, well, then you might have a problem here. We asked to have our tent on grass because we don't like to have sand in our tent. Here we have the service house. Just behind that caravan you have the lake, and I have already taken a swim. Here is our tent, and my wife is resting inside. I will also take you to the sea. Well, this is not the beach, but if you want, you can take a swim here. But if you go this road for about 3 minutes, you come to the beach. As you can see, there we have a little bigger beach, and here we have the camping. So now it's time for me to take a beer and maybe a sandwich.
Jaså, det är mitt här.
Häftigt va? Vart är vi någonstans?
Berlin.
Och det här är Checkpoint Charlie. Och vi bara stannade här med motorcykeln, körde upp på trottoaren. Och det gör man ju inte med en bil va? Mycket folk, det är något museum här också. Vi får se vart vi ska ta vägen. Bra. Behind me you can see Berlin Wall. What's left of it. But the wall that's left is this. And it's amazing that something that just for a couple of years ago separated the West from the East still is here. People have died just to go to the West. Here we have my wife, and there we have the Berlin Wall. This is a memory mark for the Holocaust. It's just many rocks in different shapes, and let's check that out now. This is truly a place for contemplation on how the Holocaust could happen. One can only hope that we humans have learned something. Now on to a slightly lighter topic. While my wife was looking at this monument, I started to talk to a police officer. I asked him if he knew a good place to eat döner kebab. He borrows my phone and enters an address in Google Maps. He says, "Go here. They serve great döner kebab." Germany, they have a big Turkish population. And the döner kebab is going to be something special. Everyone says that. So, it's about 13 minutes from here. I will hop on my bike as soon as my wife comes back. Döner kebab. Is it good? Allt är gott. After a good meal, we decided to leave Berlin. Our original plan was to go down to Austria, but since my wife had an operation a couple of weeks ago, which makes her body hurt when we drive longer distances, we decided to turn home to Denmark instead. Our goal was now to find a campsite in Hamburg, which would prove to be easier said than done. The first campsite we went to turned out to be just a parking lot in a backyard and only for RVs. So we decided to try to get to another campsite outside Hamburg. That one turned out to be a private one. No tents allowed. At this point, all the campsites are closed. My wife is really tired and I start to look for a place to wild camp. Before I attempt to break the German laws, I decided to use the NorCamp app and saw that there actually was one more campsite we could try. Our second campsite outside Hamburg. We came here last night. Nobody was here, so we just pitched our tent. Now I'm going to enjoy a nice cup of coffee. We've been waiting for like 30 or 40 minutes just to pay because they open 10 o'clock. But we want to be honest, so we have to wait 5-10 minutes more. All right? I really like Denmark. The people are friendly, they have funny city names. What about this one? Middelfart. You may remember that I had some problems with my action cam. One problem is that the batteries run out very quickly. Unfortunately, my camera died just as we were about to cross the mighty Öresund Bridge. But we crossed that bridge in 2019. How lucky I was that it was about the same weather then as it is now. So I reused that recording, but don't tell anyone. This is the view from inside the tent, and it's too bad that the weather isn't that great. It's been raining, but now the rain have stopped for a moment and I can show you how it looks. It's the third camping spot on this trip. We're back in Sweden. And I have to say that maybe this is the nicest camping that we have been on this trip. Look, just beside the water. It's like 50 meters or something. Not even that. We are very happy with our tent. It's a cheap tent. Only like 60 bucks or something like that. And it held up on this trip very well. Yeah, I made one big mistake, and it was that I took matches with me, even though that I have had them inside, and this inside a bag. The matches still somehow got ruined. Too much moisture, I think, so I had to borrow a lighter, but it went well. I will remember that to the next trip.